that's not acceptable. Let's move on. Is this a lack of leadership? What's Chansiri's character like? That's going to be the next way we're going to look into here. So, quote, when seeking to approach the club with I should say again, in case we ever break any of this out, this is from The Athletic again. Okay. I'm probably going to have to say that every time in case we need a breakout, or maybe I'll put it on the screen. We'll see. Quote, when seeking to approach the club with applications for the vacant managerial position, for example, agents had to ask journalists, including those from The Athletic, who they should contact in order to submit the paperwork.
Did they not get the message for the WhatsApp group?
No, clearly they weren't in there. No. How is that leadership? How is there no leadership channels in the club?
How is there not one person who's running that department?
What we're about to tell you is the actual worst thing I have ever heard come out of Sheffield Wednesday Football Club, and I've been here for a while. Quote, this is talking about the manager. Quote, during talks about the position, one prospective manager was surprised to learn that part of the reason he had landed the chance to chat to Chansiri was a result of his career being talked up by the chairman's teenage son. Another claims to have had a phone conversation with the same son to discuss the prospect of taking the job after he called his father unexpectedly while the two men were talking.
This kid doesn't need FM. He doesn't need FIFA.
That's running Wednesday. He talks about handing the... Chansiri talks about handing it over to her. He's already running the club.
Yeah. It's like it's
FIFA.
Yeah.
I'm saying, though, I played a lot of FIFA at. When I was your age, I made a lot of wrong decisions on FIFA, and also play Football Manager instead and realise that if you take over Wednesday in this position, if you play Football Manager like FIFA, you're going to bankrupt the club.
Yep.
Right? You got to be careful about it.
Because this is the thing. Son involved in the running of the club?
I think it's just a case of like he's obviously a big family man.
Yeah,
Chansiri is a big family man,
yes.
And his son obviously means a lot to him, and his son loves football, and his son is a Wednesday fan. But Wednesday should not be his son's toy.
No,
right?
We've had this discussion in the past as well.
Yeah,
this has come up, and this isn't the first time. It's like because whenever we knew we were signing someone, Ati Chansiri follows them on Instagram.
Yeah, and you can also say that this might be ridiculous. This is just a source coming out, but Carlos.
Yes.
Now, do you believe him? He's come out and said, quote, I did the interview and I was chosen, and months later, I came to know what the last word on my hiring was. The son of the chairman, who would be 10 or 11 years old. It's even in brackets. He laughs at this point. He had seen some things on the internet.
So
some press releases in Turkey and some games. The purest reality, the decision of a 10-year-old kid opened the door for my life's challenge, and at that moment, I feel like my career was starting seriously. Do you know when we joked about us being the scouting team for Wednesday because we've been mentioning people on the podcast and then they're popping up?
Yeah.
How real were we close to this? If somebody's son who is of this era, and I'm not, by the way, I'm not saying this is the kid's fault, right?
No.
Or however old he is now. It's sort of like, Chansiri, this is not your kid's toy, right? If my dad ran Sheffield Wednesday Football Club, first of all, I'd be like, how did we pull that off? And second of all, I'd be like,
you'd be having a panic attack.
At my age, I'd probably help him out a little bit more. But if I was 11 or 12, I wouldn't be saying, we should sign this manager because I've seen him on the internet and he looks really good.
The thing that gets me, what's he doing at school? Is he just doing like scouting reports?
I think it's one of the most ludicrous things I've ever heard, but I believe it all.
You know what the scary thing is? I've never ever heard of a kid running a football team.
No, and I know what the title of this breakout's going to be. However old he is, like a 14-year-old is running Sheffield Wednesday Football Club. No, seriously. No, you're like, because that's the case.
It was 10 or 11 when he did
with Carlos. So yeah, he must be about 15, 16.
So getting to the point where he could be on board.
Yeah, yeah, boy. Yeah, oh God, can you imagine? We say bring a CEO in, Chansiri, and he's like, okay. He's going to run the football club. Here's my son. He's the CEO. I mean, there's been dark days of relegation, but what is this?
I'm crying. I don't mean to either, but this is just it's ridiculous. And
He's crying with laughter. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not sobbing. I think we've got to move on to Paxio because I just can't. Let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah, please.
Christ
do.
on a bike.